What's going on, everyone? So, another game, another Laker loss. Just kind of seems to be the trend so far. After 4 weeks of, hey, we're 5 games over 500 and we just won the in season tournament and life is good and great. Now it's time to go get the Larry O'Brien. Instead, it's the Lakers. Are they even going to be a play in team? They didn't even score 100 points. They looked literally like I don't know. A G League team is disrespectful to a G League. I mean, they look like a middle school team. I don't even know how to compare it. They had 21 turnovers to 29 assists. They had almost as many turnovers as they did assists. This team is terrible. You have LeBron James and Anthony Davis playing the best basketball they have together since the bubble year. I know LeBron James had a bad game and stuff, but one, he wasn't even supposed to play. He had non-COVID related illness. But beyond that, he's been the most efficient we have seen since literally his Miami days. Anthony Davis is playing as good as he's played since the bubble days. And nobody else on a regular basis could show up, except for maybe you could argue Taurean Prince. Taurean Prince has arguably been our third most consistent guy. Now, again, I understand he was terrible in this last game, but for 2 months, the guy's been lights out and been a lock for 3 or 4 threes a game. Outside of that, everybody's been terrible. And the Lakers are now in the 10th seed, tied with the Warriors for the 11th. That would mean they'd be completely out of the play-in. And they are 4 games out of 6th. They're technically 4 games out of 5th too, but 4 games. That's not easy to make up a bunch of games, right? Look, trade everybody. At this point, right, if you can revamp your roster, nobody on this team has played well enough to where they should be untouchable. Nobody. That means Reeves, that means Max, that means anybody. You name them. Again, you're not just trading them just to trade them. I'm not saying, trade Reeves for a bag of chips. But nobody on this roster should be untradeable except if your name isn't LeBron James and Anthony Davis. The only 3 guys that I would want to keep is I would want to keep Christian Wood just because I do think he is valuable, and if he's utilized correctly and actually gets some consistency, he can make an impact. But more than anything, I think he's on a vet minimum, so you're just not going to get the value worth it unless it's just a tack-on trade at the end. So I'd want to keep him. I'd want to keep Cam Reddish for a lot of the same reasons. I think defensively, he's been elite this year. But also you're not going to get the value for him, right, on a vet minimum. And then third would be, if I can, it's not something that's don't trade him. But Taurean Prince, just because, again, he has been so consistent hitting the 3 ball, but also you need him, right? You need his shooting. Even if you do make some quality trades, even if you were to turn over the whole roster, you're still going to be looking for guys that can shoot the basketball. And at least Taurean Prince can shoot and hit some shots, right? But hopefully he doesn't have to play as big of a role if you make the right pieces and the right trades. Jared Vanderbilt, the only reason I don't have him on that list is because he literally can't be traded this year. So skip Jared Vanderbilt. So outside of those guys, I think everyone should be traded. Reeves has been very inconsistent. Defensively, he's been terrible. He can't shoot the 3 anymore. He completely forgot how to shoot, right? If you were to go get a guy like a Zach LaVine, I don't know how effective Austin Reeves would be anymore, right? Again, not saying you just trade him just to trade him, but I don't think he should be untouchable if you get the right pieces, if you make the right moves, if you make the right trades, right? Go get Zach LaVine. I know people, for whatever reason, still look at this Lakers team and think that they don't need Zach LaVine. Are there better options out there? Of course. But it's about what realistically the Lakers can get. They can't get a Donovan Mitchell. Could they technically? Yes. But again, we don't have the assets compared to some of these other teams. It's about who's realistic, who makes sense, who fits. Zach LaVine is obtainable. There's not a huge market for him. We probably won't even have to give up a first to go get him. Go get Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine by himself would solve like 60 to 70% of all of the Lakers' issues. Right? Like, even if you just got Zach LaVine, he would solve so many of the Lakers' issues. Because now the Lakers would have a consistent game in and game out, 20-plus point a game score. Even on Zach LaVine's bad nights, he still gives you more production than pretty much everyone on this team. He's also dynamic. Look, the Miami Heat ran zone the entire game, and we were helpless, right? And they were just killing us. And people have concerns about Zach LaVine's defense. Outside of Cam Reddish, Jared Vanderbilt, and Anthony Davis, who else plays defense? The first play of the game was Austin Reeves getting backdoored, fouling Kyle Lowry, and led to 2 free throws. Zach LaVine can't be worse than everyone else on this team, but at least he gives you the production to offset it, right? And you could also run lineups with a Cam Reddish and a Jared Vanderbilt because Zach LaVine is so dynamic of a scorer, he would kind of offset that and balance it better, right? So go get him. He is literally taking fewer shots than D'Lo and Rui combined and giving you more production. So it would actually be an upgrade to go get him over. Because, there's the question of like, well, if you trade 3 guys, does that one guy give you the same production as those 3? Yes, literally. Like Gabe Vincent, if you could unload Gabe Vincent's played 5 games for the Lakers this year. Rui and D'Lo have been super inconsistent and don't really seem to fit very well, right? So, yes, Zach LaVine would be more effective than all 3 of those guys. And guess what? Miami wouldn't be able to run a zone all game because Zach LaVine could just break up that zone because he has this foot speed and the athleticism to blow by and just get to the basket and get into the teeth of that zone. Go get Zach LaVine. It's not that complicated. Get Zach LaVine. While you're at it, if you could trade Reeves and get Alex Caruso, go do that. Right? Because, again, if you get Zach LaVine, it's about, okay, what fits best alongside LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Zach LaVine. Austin Reeves, I have concerns with just becoming completely irrelevant. Because right now, Austin Reeves' role is to basically play as like the on-the-ball initiator as well as like a scorer and closer down the stretch next to LeBron. If you have Zach LaVine takes over that role now. And Austin Reeves has not shot the 3 ball well this year, right? He just hasn't shot the 3 ball at all this year, right? He's been very bad. So I don't know if Austin, and can you even play Austin Reeves and Zach LaVine together to close the game? I don't think so. But guess who you could? Alex Caruso. You could easily go play Alex Caruso. He has chemistry alongside LeBron James and Anthony Davis, so that would be good. You don't have to worry about defensively. You could play Caruso to close games, give you the on-ball defensive guard that we need, give some good size. He's also shooting the ball excellent this year, right? This season from 3-point range, he's shooting 44% from 3 on 4 attempts per game. So he gives you shooting. He gives you point of attack defense. Chicago wants Austin Reeves so bad. Give us Zach LaVine. Give us Alex Caruso, and then give us Andre Drummond. I know people like to pretend like Andre Drummond doesn't solve a lot of the backup duties. He does. Dude, the guy's averaging like 17 rebounds a game right now for Chicago in a starting role. The guy's averaging nearly a double-double in like 15 minutes a game off the bench for Chicago. You don't think the Lakers need that? People also seem to think that like that Andre Drummond was terrible with the Lakers in the last stint, which is just completely not true. I don't know where that idea came from. The guy in 21 games on no chemistry as basically a role player averaged 12 points, 10.5 rebounds, 1.5 assists, 1.1 steals, and 1 block per game. Like, that's pretty good, right? And that was when he had an ego and thought he was a max player. At least now he has accepted his role. He's understanding his role, right? Trade the farm, whatever you got to do. Because again, now if you get Alex Caruso, Andre Drummond, and Zach LaVine, right? Now you could literally have your starting 5 if you wanted to of Zach LaVine, Alex Caruso. You could go with Taurean Prince or Jared Vanderbilt, right? Because at that, I mean, I'd probably go Jared Vanderbilt because you'd have Caruso who's shooting 43% from three, and you'd have Zach LaVine who's 45% on catch and shoot threes, right? So you can go literally Zach LaVine, Alex Caruso, Jared Vanderbilt, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. If you can't win a championship with that starting five, I don't know what to tell you. And then you'd still have like several guys off the bench. You still have like Cam Reddish, Taurean Prince. You'd still have Christian Wood. You'd still have Andre Drummond. Still have Max Christie, right? Like you'd have plenty at that point, right? Trade D'Lo, trade Gabe, trade Rui, trade whatever you got, whatever it takes. Go get it done. And then again, because now you're looking at real, actual upgrades, and you're fitting needs, and you're fitting roles, right? And if you want to keep going, and you want to keep extending it and take it further, fine. Go get Royce O'Neal and Dorian Finney-Smith, or get one of them, right? Like, like you could work it out. I mean, it would be tough to get all of them, right? Technically, the Lakers could. Technically, the Lakers could trade everybody, and basically everybody except for like Cam Reddish and Jared Vanderbilt, and go get like basically rehaul the entire roster. But no, could you go get like work out a 3-team deal and even just go get like Royce O'Neal? He's only making $9.5 million. So like technically you could get Zach LaVine, Alex Caruso, Royce O'Neal, and Andre Drummond for basically Gabe Vincent, Rui Hachimura, D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, and then you'd have to throw in like some salary filler, like Jalen Hood-Schifino would have to go out, whatever, right? But, or go get Finney-Smith. I don't care. Get it done, right? Because, I mean, think about it. This roster is not making sense right now. This roster is not working. We have too many one-dimensional guys. So how do you fix that? You either go heavy the other way, or you kind of upgrade those guys into two-way guys. Dorian Finney-Smith and Royce O'Neal are both two-way guys. Alex Caruso, two-way guy. Zach LaVine, questions about his defense, but he has had very good defensive seasons, right? And he has the athleticism and skill set to do so. Also, he wouldn't have to work as hard on the offensive side, so that might actually help him. So he might be able to focus his energy a little better on the defensive side, right? So, again, whatever you have to do, I don't care. Whatever you have to do. The guy, let's put it like, Zach LaVine has the same defensive rating as Taurean Prince this year. So, as bad as people think he is, he's not that bad, right? So, do what you got to do. Go get these guys. Go figure it out. Revamp this whole roster at this point. Because, again, this roster just isn't it. This roster is literally worse than last year's roster, because at least last year's roster didn't make sense, but they tried game in and game out. Zach LaVine, for his career, has 114 defensive rating. League average is 115. So he is better for his career, he's better than league average defensively. That's all we need him to be. Just be serviceable. Just be good enough to not get killed. And not just that, he would offset any defensive woes. Especially if you put him alongside like a Jared Vanderbilt and an Alex Caruso with Anthony Davis backing him up. Zach LaVine would be fine defensively. Go get a Royce O'Neal or Dorian Finney-Smith, whatever. Figure it out. Make it happen. Right? Got to get LeBron James and Anthony Davis real help. Clearly these guys aren't it. So you need to go get guys that are it. It's just, again, like, what are we going to do? We're going to throw away another season? If LeBron James was showing decline, or Anthony Davis wasn't really looking like he's it, then I'd probably feel a different way. I'd probably be like, you know what? Like, why are you going to sell the farm to go and try to get LeBron another ring when he just doesn't have it anymore? But that's literally not the case. It's the opposite. LeBron James is, again, playing the most effective basketball since the Miami Heat days. Anthony Davis has been the best he has been since the bubble. These two guys are literally playing 2-on-5 out there on a nightly basis. And they are accounting for literally 50% of the points, rebounds, and assists. You're not winning games that way. When two guys are basically doing everything and nobody else is consistently showing up. So go get guys that will consistently show up. Go get guys that do want to play. Go get guys that are willing to give an effort game in and game out. Revamp, rehaul, whatever. I don't care. Get it done. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass a question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Do you agree with my rant? Do you think yes, do whatever it takes, go get it done? Do you think no? Figure it out, whatever. Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.